Hi everyone and welcome to Shareful with Busola. Here, as you know, we share on a variety of topics and today is going to be even brilliant. I know it's been a minute, I apologize, but please don't forget to like, subscribe, because you're going to enjoy the content of this video, okay? So like, subscribe, what else? Share. Okay, so we have in the studio we have my husband here, Damilare Ogunleye. Welcome.
Thank you, and hi everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, it's not camera shy at all. We're not camera shy over here. But yeah, I needed to bring him on because I wanted to provide some information or a number of information on a particular visa type. Technician, it's called technician, and the visa type we're on. Now I've got the experts because he knows the ins and outs of this particular visa type, and yeah, I'm just his cheerleader. So welcome, Damilare. Do you want anything to drink? How can we entertain you?
I already had something to drink now. What am I? Oh gosh.
I'm trying to get you relaxed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so backstory for a couple of people who don't know our story. We used to live in Nigeria. We lived in Nigeria all our lives. We moved close to a year ago to the UK, and so whilst there are a number of visa types, different routes to move to the UK, there's the student visa, which I'm going to be discussing in some of that episode. I'm going to be bringing someone who's going to break it down, start to finish, how you can walk it by yourself, because there's nothing you can't do. So yeah, there are a number of routes. There's students, there's work.
Yeah, there are quite a few routes. There's at least 5 tiers of visa for the UK, with one of them is being suspended. It's not something. So there's,
which one is that?
The tier 3 one. It's basically for unskilled workers.
Right.
So it gets activated based on demand, kind of thing. So it's the kind of visa that was temporarily activated when there was shortage of truck drivers in the UK. So this
was sometime when they had the scarcity or something.
Yes,
scarcity.
yes, I believe so.
I remember. I think I heard about that.
So there's tier 1 visa.
Which is what?
Tier 1 visa is basically talent experience. It has different types of. So each of these tiers, just think of them as basically how the ease and the simplicity of your settlement after the visa. So tier 1 is like top of the ladder. So under tier 1, you've got the global talent, or the one called technician.
Okay.
You've got the innovator visa. You've got startup visa. You've got scale up visa. Then you've got investment, or is it investor visa? Although that one has been suspended again temporarily for, I think, based on some issues around people who used to do that one. So investor visa. So we've got that one on one hand for tier 1. For tier 2, that's what you've got.
Also, all that was on that tier 1.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought you explained it in the
No. So those are all that's on that tier 1. So for tier 2, you've got skilled workers.
Yeah.
You've got the ones for ministers, people in faith. You've got so for pastors, clergy.
Yeah.
You've got the third one. You've got sports people.
I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, asking you all these visa types.
Well, I mean, I know them. Then you've got the one for healthcare workers, also on that tier 2.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Then tier 3 is the one I said has been suspended. Tier 4 is student visa. And then tier 5 is basically, I forget the name they call it now, but it's international. The first one is called international agreement visa, which basically is a type of visa, like it's temporary worker visa. So for instance, this temporary one on that tier 5 is not renewable, it's 1 year. And after that, it's you need to go back. It's basically for people in charity, faith-based organizations. They have shortage of people. But yeah, those are like the broad visa categories, and then that gives you the route to settling in the UK afterwards.
I always say, I don't know, I think I've told you a couple of times that the country you're born is not necessarily the country you should die. I feel like the world is our oyster, right? We should be able to explore and so today we are going to be providing you as much information and discussing the technician visa. Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let's go. So what is technician? And I noticed you grouped it under the global talent visa, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
talk to me, what's technician?
okay, so the technician is not a visa type. It's the name of an endorsing body for global talent.
See why I brought it?
So it's not an endorsing body under global talent. So just to explain, the global talent visa is one of the visa types or the visa categories under tier 1. Now the global talent visa is basically for experience that so the way I like it, I like the UK is most of their visas are in the name. So global talent, it's talent.
Yeah, true.
So you've got, I think, 5 areas. I don't remember all the areas. So you've got digital technology, you've got arts, you've got academia, I think you've got sports. There's one more. I don't remember the fifth one now.
I got you.
Yeah, but what it means is basically for each of these 5, if you're a talent in any of these areas and you can demonstrate that you're a talent in any of these areas, then you actually can get a visa and a settlement route in the UK to the UK. So the technician is an endorsing body for the digital technology one. Right. So what's an endorsing body? The way the global talent visa works is basically you need to prove that you've got experience over time in any of those 5 things I've mentioned. So if you're in digital technology, you need to prove you've got experience in digital technology. And the way you prove that is you submit a few bits of evidence, right? We'll get to that bit. What are the things you submit?
Yeah.
So you submit a few bits of evidence and then they review that based on a few guidelines. And based on that, they endorse you. Your endorsement now is what qualifies you to get a visa. You then apply for a visa afterwards. So the endorsing body for digital technology is technician.
Okay.
Yes, that's what technician really is. There are a few bits of guidelines. I think the best way to always start is to read the visa guide.
Yeah.
It's
so I'm going to provide the link.
Yeah, I think the link will be in the description below.
Yeah.
But there are a few bits of it. Now, note of warning: the way they write the visa guide is scary. Like everyone who has applied for technician will tell you that the first time they read it, it looked like it was for Elon Musk. So most people will shut it down afterwards. Like it's just the language is written and makes it look like you can never match up.
Yeah.
It's never meant for you.
Sorry. So to your point, honestly, that's the reason why I made up my mind to create this video, because I remember when we're still in Niger and we're discussing this technician thing, and you forwarded the link to me and I was reading it. I was like, my god, like, okay, it feels like a lot. And then I went on YouTube and tried to, because I prefer video content, right? I prefer to consume information in video formats. I mean, like an added stuff. So I went on YouTube. I really didn't see anybody that broke it down, which is why I said if we got it, I would love to speak on it to provide more information to people. So, like I said, I'm your plug, right? So thank you for doing this. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so again, like I said earlier, so if you read that guide, it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the technician now provides a checker of some sorts. So you just go through a 1 minute or 2 minute quiz to see if you qualify, right?
So that's where to start from.
That's where I would recommend to start from.
Okay.
It could just ask you a few questions. Now, once you go through that, you can instantly already know if you qualify to apply or not. That's like the baseline. Yeah. Quite a few, and just to define what digital technology is, because that's the overwhelming,
because your background is not even related. It's not the core technology. People, when they are thinking technology, it's not what comes to mind. So
digital technology, the way technician defines it is product-led digital technology. So I'll give examples. If you worked at a place where they sold laptops, that's not experience in digital technology. Or if you worked with a consultant that sold enterprise products. So someone who sold products, ERP products, solutions to companies.
Yeah.
That's not product-led digital technology.
It's
The way
not.
it's not.
That's sales.
It's not. They don't even consider that you're in product. So the way they define it is you need to have a digital product. So
Right.
so it's not, you need the place you need to, the background you need to have worked in is in a place that has built a digital product. So I'll give an example.
Yeah.
If you work in the bank, you probably won't qualify. But if you're
Oh,
involved,
no, really?
yeah, but if you're involved in
No, what do you
building,
mean? No.
so I'm saying that, let me explain.
That we need to clarify.
No, let me explain.
Okay.
So if you work in a bank, you
As
probably,
an IT person.
even as an IT person, you probably won't qualify.
Why not?
Because you are just an IT person, you are not in a product-led digital technology function. So for you to qualify, you would need to
That's
be,
a nice distinction.
you would need to probably have been involved on the product. So if the bank has got maybe like a mobile app, you were involved in the building of the mobile app, or you led the development of the mobile app.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's clear.
But if you're like back office stuff, it doesn't.
Probably not.
Probably not. So it's product-led digital technology that they focus on. Then there are two tracks to it. There's the business track, and then there is the technical track.
Okay.
So technical track is like core people who write code, software development, engineers, people who are like core technical people.
Right. That's on one hand.
That's on one hand. Then there is the business track, which is for people who are in product management, people who did sales, because you can do sales. Sales is not a problem. You could have been involved in sales. You could have been involved in fundraising. You could have been involved in investment.
Yeah, of this particular digital
but
product.
it must be digital products, right? So,
Okay.
so those are like the
I
two
think that's
separate.
clear. Yeah.
I think
You've told me about it. I've checked the websites. I've gone through. I've taken the tests. I qualify. What next?
good question. So, the first thing is, again, like I said, after you've gone through the visa guide the first time, go through it the second time.
Yeah.
It will take a bit of
Yeah.
until you deconstruct it, because there's so little someone can help with, or there's only so much someone else can help you with.
Yeah.
So after you've read it, you need to then determine the story you want to tell. So let me explain what the requirements are. I think the first is to explain the eligibility or requirements. So what technician is really looking for to endorse you as a global talent is that you're a talent, right? So it's as simple as that. Like,
Otherwise, we all feel like aren't we talent?
So if you can demonstrate that you're a talent, then that's what technician is looking for. So this body has provided a guideline for how you should present the evidence.
Fantastic.
So that's what that visa guide is.
Okay.
Because that visa guide is basically the format in which you should present the evidence.
So tell us what the format is.
Okay. So do you
remember? I think that long ago.
I think I still remember. If there might have been a few changes, but
right.
the core is still the same. So the first thing you want to determine after you've gone through the guide is your story, right? Which is basically, are you a business person? Are you a technical person?
Yeah. So
because sometimes there are technical people who are better suited to apply as business people, and there are business people that are sometimes better suited to apply as technical people. Because especially if you've crossed over in different parts of your career. The second bit is to understand that there are two categories again of the visa itself.
Okay.
So there's an exceptional promise route, and then there is exceptional talent. Now to explain it, it's basically
so you know how to create an organogram, right? On top is what? Global talents.
Yes.
And then it's divided into two. What and what?
Exceptional promise and exceptional talent.
But you mentioned the business.
Both of them are business and technical. So
okay. So right now there's the global talent under this technician route, and then there's the exceptional promise or exceptional talent route. Okay.
Yes.
So you now determine where you fall under.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about these two concepts.
So the biggest distinction is in the levels of experience required.
Okay.
So for the exceptional promise, it's recommended if you are early in your career.
So you have a
less than
promising
5 years.
career.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's it. You have a promise. You have a promising career, and there's a potential for you in the future to be a leader.
Awesome.
So less than 5 years of career.
Less than 5.
And then more than 5. Pretty much.
Perfect.
And the major difference is because you still submit the same requirements.
Right.
But the major difference is the settlements after the visa. So if you are exceptional promise, you qualify to apply for the ILR, which we'll talk about, which is the permanent ILR is indefinite leave to remain. So if you're exceptional promise, you can only qualify to apply for that after 5 years.
Right.
But if you're exceptional talent, you can apply for the ILR after 3 years.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the difference. The difference is in years of experience when you're applying, and the difference is in years of required stay before you qualify for permanent residency or ILR.
Wow. My God, that's a lot of information, but important information you've just given out. Because honestly, I'm just trying to recall all those days when I'll go on YouTube to try and figure this thing out, and no one really broke it down like this. It was almost like, this concept, this, huge undertaking that was just difficult.
Again, I can help simplify, but I always refer back to the visa guide, right, which is in the link somewhere below in the description.
Yeah.
But there are 4 things, key things that are required. The first is your personal statement. It's a 1,000 word. I don't know if it has reduced now, but it used to be 1,000 words personal statement.
Yeah.
And the general thing you want to cover is basically your background. Where are you coming from? Who are you? Your story. Why did you even go into digital technology? Right? If you want to cover that, the impact you've made, because the reason why you're not coming to be a talent in wherever in the UK, you're not coming to be a talent. You're already a talent where you are.
You're just telling them about your
awesomeness. Just telling them
exactly.
So in that story, you need to also show the impact in your personal statement. You need to show the impact you've you've demonstrated in the ecosystem you're in locally. And I usually say that the best way to do this is talk about the problem, like what was your problem, talk about the solution, and talk about the measurable outcomes. So you write that statement, and at the end, you then explain why you are coming to the UK and how you can help the UK's digital technology ecosystem. It's as simple as that for the statement. The second thing is your personal resume, your CV. Usually about 3 pages long, max. So the third part, which is the recommendation of the referrals, they need to be C-suites, meaning they need to be like CEOs, CTOs of digital technology companies. So they can be C-suites, they can be head of departments, but they need to be senior in a digital-led product, in a product-led digital technology company.
Okay.
They need to be senior, right? So what they are writing is how they know you, the impact of what they've known you've done, why they are recommending you, and why the UK. And then you also need to include the excerpts or brief highlights, or more like even the resume, because sometimes it's almost like you're adding the resume of your referee. But what I would say for your recommenders is that I believe is the hardest part to get, because your recommenders, if they are quality enough, they don't have bandwidth, so you need to follow them up. Like, it can take a bit of time. So I would say that if you are even interested in applying, that's the first thing you should actually start from. Start from listing out people that can recommend you. Use LinkedIn.
So just do a lot of legwork.
Yes. So that's the first. That's the third one. Then there's a fourth one, right? I don't know if the numbers changed, but it used to be 10 pieces of evidence. Now this is the tricky part. They say 10
on 10 pages. You mean?
No.
Okay.
10 bits of evidence. Each evidence can be 3 pages long.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good, but it's daunting. Daunting in the sense that it's only when you sit down to do it you realize, okay, this is a bit of work. Once you've done that and you submit your application, it can take anything between 3 weeks to a month, but sometimes it takes earlier.
It doesn't take. Oh, that's true actually. Yeah, so it's a short processing time.
Oh, it's even shorter. Like in my own case, it took 2 days.
Was it 2 days?
Yeah, it took 2 days.
Oh, I know, guys. Okay.
But it's not a common stuff. Like technician doesn't even promise that. I suspect maybe when we applied, there was low. Maybe there was not a lot of applications and all that. So the natural expectation is anything between 3 weeks and 1 month for them to get back to you with an endorsement.
Okay.
Or not.
Okay. And then, so you're talking about timeline costs.
So for costs, there's a standard fee you pay. I think it's about either £5 or £6 or £6 or something pounds. Again, those costs they keep at every April.
How much?
I'll come to it.
Okay.
So every April the costs can keep changing. So April again they might do another revision. But I believe it's 456 plus 1. The total amount is about 608. Last time I remember, 608. It might be slightly maybe higher or lower than that. But what that does is just the cost of the application, right?
Yeah.
So when you put in the application, you come back, you get an endorsement, which is a nay or a yay, right? If you get a yay, then you can go on to apply for your visa. When you apply for your visa, in order to apply for your visa, you need to apply for IHS, which is your health surcharge.
Yeah.
And the health surcharge, I think, is about £602 per year. Per person. Now, when you're applying, if you're coming with a dependent or dependents, you will need to again pay the earlier application fee, which you used to get a recommendation for them, plus this 602 IHS times the number of years you're applying for. Yeah, that's it. So if you're applying, so just imagine.
So when you say number of years you're applying for, you mean the 3-year or the 5-year on that global promise or global talent visa?
But if you're coming with a spouse or a dependent,
is it not times 2?
It's times 2, but but so again, I didn't mention the benefits. So the benefit is you can work anywhere in digital technology. You can start your own digital technology business. Your spouse can work anywhere. There are no restrictions. The difference is that if you're an exceptional promise, you get 5 years. Your spouse also gets 5 years. But if you are an exceptional talent, your spouse still has to do the 5 years before they can apply for permanent residency or the ILR. Yes, even though you can apply after 3 years. So the recommendation is often that, well, even if you're an exceptional talent and you're coming with a dependent, you just apply for the entire 5 years each. And so it will be 5 years times 602 per person.
Oof,
so that's about 3,000. Yeah, that's about 3,000.
That's a lot of money, Dami. Think of the naira to pound conversion.
Oh yeah, I know.
Jesus.
It's how the UK mix.
Yeah, but it's a very good investment.
Yeah.
So you explained that if you get a yay, you go ahead to apply for the visa, right? If you get a nay, what happens?
Well, if you get a nay, there are only 2 options. You can apply for a review, explaining that, because when
do you pay for that?
No, you don't pay. It's free. You get 1 free review.
So that's good.
So when you apply for a review, because when they tell you they reject you, they give you a reason why. They tell you, oh, you demonstrated evidence in mandatory criteria and optional criteria 1, but you were weak in optional criteria 2, or you didn't. So they give you the feedback. So you can push back, but when you are applying for a review, you can't submit new evidence.
Oh, so it's just based on
that you make arguments or against your earlier submitted evidence to say you don't think they considered this because here is the impact. So you can't submit new evidence. So that's it. And then if you apply for a review, it's again their discretion to say, okay, well, we agree with you.
And do you know, is it possible to get
a year?
Yeah.
Oh,
is it possible to get a yes after you've gotten a no? So at the point
I know a ton of people who have done that. I know a ton of people who have gotten reviewed.
So it's not a lost cause.
It's not a lost cause. No, I know a ton of people who have reviewed. Sometimes people decide not to even apply for a review. Like sometimes once you see the feedback, you're like, I don't think I can even defend it again. I just need to put it in your application.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't count. It doesn't matter.
Perfect.
It's reset. So it's not like, oh, because you applied something, you're applying now. No. It doesn't matter. It's reset and they're independent.
Thank you so much, my darling husband. Thank you. Why are you looking like I disturbed you to come on the show? Did I? Thank you so much for sharing. I hope we've demystified it. If you have any questions, however, you can email me. My email address is, I think I'll put it in the, I'm going to put it somewhere in the video, because I was wondering somewhere somewhere on my page. But yeah, send in your questions. I'm going to send it to him because he's somewhat of an expert on this topic and is going to help you.
Somewhat.
He's an expert. He's a global talent. So send in your questions to my email address. I'm going to provide my email address below, and we'll see how we can help you. Thank you so much. Like I said, you're going to enjoy the content. You enjoyed it, right? Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share, guys. Please share. Help other people. There's no point hoarding information. You know how people used to say, especially you people that went to boarding house, that you say, because this person suffered, this other person, because I suffered, every other person has to suffer. That's not necessary. Please share the information, because it's lots of valuable nuggets by the global talent and his partner. I'll see you in the next video. I love you for watching. Bye.
Subscribe.
I didn't say that. I'm going to leave this part. My husband says subscribe. Please subscribe.
Subscribe.
Bye.